One question a lot of wrestling fans have had on their minds for quite a while is, where the is Britt Baker? Many wrestling fans will remember that Britt Baker at one point was one of, if not the biggest star in AEW's women's division, and as of recently, her time on TV seemingly has come to an end. She has not been seen on AEW TV for, at this point, well over a year, and fans are starting to wonder if she's done with the company. And the answer to that question is a little bit complicated. Baker made a lot of claims recently that lead us to believe that she may not be done, but at the same time, she is representative of one of the bigger problems that AEW has run into over the last couple of years, and that is parking talent. Parking talent is something that both AEW and WWE have done to various degrees, but AEW has become synonymous with it, parking talent and putting them on the bench, talent such as Rey Fenix, Penta, Ricky Starks, and of course, the aptly mentioned Britt Baker. So, in this video, I'm going to talk about why Britt Baker is no longer with AEW seemingly, but also talk about why Britt Baker is symbolic of another one of AEW's biggest problems, and that is benching talent into oblivion until their contract runs out. All that and much more coming up right here in this video. I'm Big Omer Q for Real Take Wrestling. Be sure to smash that thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Let's dive right in. As I mentioned before, Britt Baker is probably one of, if not the most synonymous names with AEW's women's division. She was the first ever women's talent signed by the company back in 2019, and she has been an AEW original since then. And the cool thing about Britt is we've seen her rise from a relatively unknown name in pro wrestling to, at one point in 2021 and 2022, probably one of the biggest names in all of pro wrestling. When Britt Baker would come out, when she was holding the AEW Women's World Championship, it felt like you were looking at a major star. It felt like you were looking at one of the key stars of this entire era, and yet now she's no longer on TV. And in the latter part of 2023, Britt Baker was taken off of TV, and it was revealed that she was dealing with an undisclosed injury. And at first, this was really the first time we had seen Britt Baker be gone from AEW television for an extended period of time. And fans were just hoping and praying that she would be able to come back. And she did at Forbidden Door 2024, one of AEW's most critical shows. She made a return and did so in an insane way, interrupting TBS champion Mercedes Moné coming out and making a statement that she wanted to get her hands on Moné and the TBS championship. And this was really dope because everyone had wanted to see this match ever since Sasha was in WWE. Like, Sasha Banks versus Britt Baker, even a couple of years before that, felt like a dream match that would never happen in any circumstance. Yet, when Sasha, now known as Mercedes Moné, came over to AEW in February of that year, it became a possibility, and it was genuinely one of the biggest matches that people and AEW fans had been speculating for that entire time. And we got it. At All In 2024, we got Britt Baker, DMD, Mercedes Moné, TBS Championship on the line, and it was the greatest match in the history of professional wrestling, is what I would say. If I was lying to you, I am lying to you. That is a lie. It was not a good match, and it became even more complicated and controversial when you factor in that in the weeks leading up to AEW All In that year, there were backstage reports that MJF and Britt Baker got into some sort of verbal confrontation that led to MJF reportedly punching a wall. And it is worth noting that MJF denied the reports of how extreme the conversation was. But at the end of the day, it led to Britt Baker being suspended from AEW TV for a shoot in real life. And it hurt the build, and even though the build was kind of stunted by that, it still felt like it was going to be a big match. Like, you put two of the biggest stars in that division up against each other, it's going to still get fans riled up and get them all excited to see that match. But the match was just a nothing burger. It was probably, to this day, Mercedes' worst match in her entire time in All Elite Wrestling. And when you put it up against the matches that she's had with the likes of Willow, Chris Statlander, Toni Storm, and others, it doesn't even remotely hold a candle. And after that, people kind of pegged Britt Baker as a bit of a problem. That was the narrative online. Again, there's no real actual evidence that she was a notorious problem. A lot of this is built on rumor and speculation. But at the same time, you cannot ignore that Britt Baker has had a lot of talk about her and her perception backstage. Whether or not it's true, it is out there. And for that reason, when she appeared on a couple of Dynamites and Collisions leading up to October of that year, fans began to wonder, was this another suspension? Was this another scenario of Britt maybe alienating the locker room? Well, it has since come out that Britt was dealing with some sort of injury that kept her out for a little bit of that time, but she also revealed in that same interview that she's basically ready to go. And the rumor and speculation ever since then has been that AEW has no plans for Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. And because of that, she is not on TV and does not seem like AEW has any plans for her. And this is where I get to the larger issue that this represents for AEW. Regardless of what you think about Britt Baker, the fact remains she is still one of the company's biggest stars. And parking her or benching her, however you want to put it, is not conducive to the environment that AEW wants to build. Because at the end of the day, with ratings tanking in the way they are due to the change in the Nielsen metric and also the product just week to week not selling as many tickets, one thing that AEW is lacking is mega star power. And sure, you can create your own and you absolutely should, but you also need to leverage the stars that you do have at your disposal. And in my view, when you park talent, big time talent like Britt, talent like Ricky Starks, talent like Penta and Rey Fenix, as you've done in the past, albeit the Rey Fenix and Penta situations were a little bit different, as reportedly Penta was trying to negotiate a contract with WWE. But again, you had those talent at your disposal. They are there on your roster. You might as well use them. Use them to get people over. If you think that Britt or Ricky or whoever is going to leave the company regardless, okay, work with it. Don't just ignore it. Because when you ignore these situations and you just park talent, you end up with the same type of problems that you ended up with in the CM Punk situation. Because the entire point of that Punk situation and the lesson and takeaway was, when you have a problem, deal with it. Don't ignore it. Don't just stuff it away in a closet. Don't create a new show in order to just hope it goes away. Deal with it. Sit down, talk, work it out. Because if there is still one major thing that hurts AEW, it is the perception that it is second rate. And when you do things like park talent like Britt Baker, with the reputation that you have as a company for doing so, you cannot blame people when they have that perception. And I think, again, in a perfect world, Britt Baker would be on TV. She would be competing in that division. She would, hell, be one of your top single stars. And maybe that's not in the cards for one reason or another. Maybe it's creative. Maybe it's the fact that Britt doesn't want to be there. Hell, maybe it's that Tony just doesn't like her. Again, all speculation. I don't know what I'm talking about. But either way, when you are running a business and you are running a TV product, it is up to you to make sure you maximize value for your consumer, but also maximize the entertainment. We all know that there were stars from shows like Game of Thrones who didn't get along, who, hell, even weren't allowed to be in the same scenes together, but they worked it out at the end of the day. AEW needs to get their act together and work it out. And the sooner that you deal with these problems, the sooner that you actually go and try to talk these things out, the sooner that you try to address them, I think it's going to slowly chip away at that perception. And that perception has hurt them with talent as well. Miro reportedly did not want to do jobs to talent like Powerhouse Hobbs and others, yet in WWE, he's doing jobs to younger talent. There's certainly a perception issue there. CM Punk, you can say the same thing. He viewed AEW as second rate. That's as crystal clear as day during his Ariel Helwani interview. You want to get rid of that perception, start acting like it. And I think once you do that, talent will respect you. But more importantly, it'll be better for your TV viewers. It'll be better for your fans who just want to watch dope ass professional wrestling, just like me. And if you're just like me and you have some thoughts about this, I want to hear about it in the comment section below. Let me know what you think. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Is Britt Baker making a return soon? I want to hear from you. Also, if you want to get access to more videos, exclusive videos, and custom emotes, be sure to become a member for as little as $5 a month. You get access to all future video essays and so many other perks. And you get to support one of the best wrestling content creators out there. That's me. All right, guys, until next time, I'm Big Ohm for Real Take Wrestling. Be happy, be healthy, and as always, keep it real.